And it's time for another Saturday Morning Club movie review, Bobby. Thank you.
Singing! Come on!
Please stop. Last Tuesday, the three of us saw Star Wars Solo, a Star Wars story, directed by Ron Howard, starring Alden Ehrenreich. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I don't know how to pronounce his name either.
Along with Woody Harrelson, Emilia Clarke, Donald Glover, and plenty of other folks. And take it away, Alex.
Oh, you want me to go first then?
Sure.
Sure. All right, let me see how we can keep this non-spoilery. I thought it was an okay movie. I thought the first part of the movie was The last half hour of the movie really made up for the first hour of the movie. The last half hour of the movie was definitely worth watching.
What was it about the last half hour of the movie that you liked the best? I mean, was
because
it the action scenes? Or
no, it was because
it
it actually... No, because otherwise there's no point in calling it... Because the characters were able to interact the way I expected the characters to interact. The betrayals and counter-betrayals and the way they're dealing with each other.
Let me just interject real quick. The movie is actually about the early adventures of Han Solo and Chewbacca.
I wonder why you didn't want to start with that.
Well, let's just give them a little background.
Yeah, how they met.
It's how they met, their backstories, and
Right.
then how it kind of leads into the actual Star Wars
how
trilogy.
Han became Han.
Right, exactly.
And what bonded Chewie and Han together.
So that's your lead in. I thought it was kind of predictable Star Wars, kind of good, clean, corny, fun, predictable. There was only one thing, and I'm not going to say it, only one thing that surprised me in the whole movie.
In a good way?
Yeah, in a good way,
Okay.
but it was totally predictable. It had the whole Star Wars feel to it, a lot of action, a lot of impossible situations that they always
manage to get out of. Yes.
Which...
It was a fun movie, a lot of action. I didn't mind. I thought it was. I give it a thumbs up if I was to recommend it. I think it's only really for Star Wars fans, honestly. If someone who went in there and didn't know anything about Star Wars and didn't care about Star Wars, probably not going to want to see it.
See, now I disagree with that because I thought as a standalone movie, I thought it was a fun action movie and you didn't have to know anything about these characters to
You're probably
relate to
you're
them.
Probably right. You really don't need to know the first three movies, but I don't see why you would want to go see it unless you did.
I didn't care for the storyline. I really didn't care for the storyline. I mean, they brought in a couple of aspects of Han that you knew about from the original Star Wars, and which I was kind of glad they did. But at the same time, I didn't care for the storyline, and I didn't care for he didn't. I'm just Harrison Ford is like Han Solo to me. And
well, come on.
I guess I had a problem with
I'm not going
somebody
to have...
not looking like Harrison Ford.
I mean, come on. He's supposed to be like 30 years younger.
Yeah.
And Woody Harrelson, I love the guy, but he can't act to save his life. He's like the same guy in every movie. Movie you ever see.
He's playing Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
I also had an issue with, I don't know if you picked up on this, but the way they ended the time frame and for the age of Han Solo, I didn't think it all lined up properly.
I don't think they meant to line it up.
This movie is supposed to be about 10, 15 years before the first Star Wars movie.
Yeah, but it almost felt like it was more like 30 years before the first Star Wars movie. That's why the timeline didn't feel right for me as a Star Wars fan. But, that may be... I always overthink these things. We know this. Bobby is great at overthinking.
There isn't a lot of thinking involved in this movie.
Which is my problem.
It's kind of put your brain on hold and watch a lot of eye candy, and it's good, clean fun. It's Star Warsy.
Yeah, I guess it was a little bit of eye candy. I didn't think it was all that.
It was cornball, as I expected.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain parts that, like the great octopus space creature. You didn't have to use that.
Nah, it wasn't really
no,
necessary.
Yeah, that was a pain. The whole thing about doing the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
Yeah, kind of.
It's like this
It
is
was
some
forced.
great.
It felt very forced.
So
It also
Yeah.
felt like he had nothing to do with that.
well, I
Han
was
Solo makes the claim about it, and it's like, yeah, except for the fact
Well,
that
he made
the decision
no,
to do it, but he wasn't the one that saved the ship.
But in the original, he doesn't say, I made the Kessel Run. He said this ship made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. You know that because when they're like
only
you.
a Star Wars nerd would really know that.
I can picture the scene and everything.
Oh, I'm sure you can.
It's just so it
And I
burned in my
don't
head.
disagree, but I also do want to go back and
Well,
rewatch that
he's
scene
supposed to
because-
be a cocky guy.
He
Yeah.
is,
and
yes,
that's the way
yes.
they
Yeah.
portray him, and
Yeah.
that's the way he is in the other movies.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you know, no surprises there either. I was
Yeah,
only-
I mean, there's certain movie tropes that are classic, like that standard card game. You got the two people
Yeah.
who are like, "Oh, you've got one card up." Like that's skill? No, that's not skill.
yeah, it had a lot of predictable stuff. I will
Yeah.
say it was as usual filmed, is beautifully filmed. A lot of great special effects. The thing looks
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
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 But
Yeah,
yeah,
and I was surprised to see it was a Ron Howard film. you
I
know.
would. Yeah, I was surprised
Well-
too. I would only recommend it to Star Wars fans, quite honestly.
See
That's-
now, and I would say just the opposite. I
Yeah.
would say if you want a good action film for the summer, and you know, you
There's
don't
gotta
have
be-
to, you don't
there's
have
gotta
to know
be
anything about
There's got to be better
action
films.
films.
Yes.
Then you think
So far,
Go
There are two
look
movies
at the
already
old
that are
go
better.
look at the old Bourne trilogy if you want some just good
Oh, yeah,
clean
those-
action.
look, the
Check
Avengers
those
movie
out.
was better. The Deadpool 2 for action movie was much, much better.
All right.
Okay.
So Alex, thumbs up, thumbs down.
I would say I'll give it a thumbs up, but it's the last half hour saves it.
Bobby.
No, I'm gonna go thumbs down because
Really?
yes,
Wow.
I'm gonna go
What?
thumbs down.
What?
Well, because it's for me as a Star Wars fan, I just didn't do it. I mean, as a standalone film, it's a thumbs up. You know.
All right.
But as a
Well,
Star
it's either
Wars,
thumbs up or thumbs
That's
down.
why I said thumbs down. That's why I went with that.
Well,
yeah.
for Star Wars fans, I'm going to say thumbs up. For folks who just want to see a movie, nah, don't bother. Okay.
Yeah, better movies. I think if you've got one movie to see this year, I would say either Avengers or Deadpool 2.
All right, so we're not recommending it apparently. Hey, if you want to call in, feel free to call.
If you're gonna see 3, then yeah, go see this as part of them. Yeah.
This is the 10th movie I would recommend.
I would recommend you see Star Wars: A New Hope before you see this film.
All right, I guess probably not a ringing endorsement. All
No.
right, feel free to call 203
837
99.
24.